In this section, we'll be discussing Endpoint Protection. Endpoint Protection is the Microsoft anti-malware and security solution. In this section, we'll discuss what that means in Configuration Manager terms. We'll also show how to implement an endpoint protection solution to protect clients. This video is titled Endpoint Protection in Configuration Manager. In this video, we'll explain what endpoint protection with ConfigMgr is all about. We'll discuss the difference between Windows Defender and the Endpoint Protection client. Finally, we'll talk about additional features such as Windows Firewall settings and Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection. So let's begin. Endpoint Protection in ConfigMgr lets you manage anti-malware policies and Windows Firewall security for client computers in your hierarchy. You can also manage Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection, or ATP, for collections of computers. You can use the ConfigMgr software updates mechanism to download the latest anti-malware definition files to keep client computers up to date. You can send email notifications, use in-console monitoring, and view reports to keep administrative users informed when malware is detected on client computers. Windows Defender is already installed on Windows 10 and Windows Server 2016 systems. For these operating systems, a management client for Windows Defender is installed when the ConfigMgr client installs. On Windows 8.1 and earlier computers, the Endpoint Protection client is installed with the Configuration Manager client. Windows Defender and the Endpoint Protection client have the same capabilities: malware and spyware detection and remediation, rootkit detection and remediation, critical vulnerability assessment, automatic definition and engine updates, network vulnerability detection through network inspection system, and integration with Cloud Protection Service to report malware to Microsoft. Firewall policies for endpoint protection let you perform basic Windows Firewall configuration and maintenance tasks on client computers. You can use Windows Firewall policies to perform the following tasks: control whether Windows Firewall is turned on or off, control whether incoming connections are allowed to client computers, control whether users are notified when Windows Firewall blocks a new program. You create a firewall policy in the ConfigMgr console and deploy it to a collection of computers. Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection, also known as Windows Defender ATP, is a security service that enables enterprise customers to detect, investigate, and respond to advanced threats on their networks. It uses the following combination of technology built into Windows 10 and Microsoft's cloud service: endpoint behavioral sensors embedded in Windows 10, which collect and process behavioral signals from the operating system; cloud security analytics, where behavioral signals are translated into insights, detections, and recommended responses to advanced threats; and threat intelligence, which enables Windows Defender ATP to identify attacker tools, techniques, and procedures, and generate alerts when these are observed in collected sensor data. Endpoint Protection can help manage and monitor Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection. ConfigMgr policies can help you to onboard and monitor Windows 10 version 1607 computers. By adding and deploying a client onboarding configuration file, ConfigMgr can monitor deployment status and Windows Defender ATP agent health. The prerequisites are as follows. You need a subscription to the Windows Defender Advanced Threat Protection online service. Client computers must be running Windows 10 version 1607 and later, and client computers must be running the Configuration Manager 1610 version or later of the client agent.